start streaming, and I gotta start this going, and then we go.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the GabNet Tour bus. Today our tour will take us up and around the newly designed Gabnet.net webpage. For your safety, please stay seated while the bus is in motion and enjoy your trip. Also, remember that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated. Okay, we're off. The first place of interest that we're going to pass on the top left, you'll see a rotating billboard of all of the great GabNet programs. Legend has it that legendary broadcaster Alex Bennett created this billboard to attract early visitors to GabNet and to lure them into his site. To this day, it's one of the top attractions on our tour. Up next, look over at the top right and you'll see the most recent video of Alex Bennett's Ramble. And if you're lucky enough, we'll see Alex interacting with the citizen panel. Always a tour highlight. Did I mention that tipping your tour guide is greatly appreciated? As we approach the bottom of the Ramble video, we see quick links to all the ways that you can connect with GabNet programs. Facebook Live, YouTube, TuneIn, Livestream, Vimeo, and the GabNet Roku channel. They're all additional stops that you can make if you choose to step off the bus. But remember, please tip your tour guide if you do, and then you can hop on the next bus. Here's another highlight on our tour. On the left side, you'll see GabNet On Demand. You can quickly access any of the most recent programs there. Clearly, a value spot on our tour because downloads are at no extra cost. Please give your attention now to the right side. Look at the complete tutorial on how easy it is to become a citizen panelist. By the way, if you're a Luddite, there's a phone number that you can use to dial in. Okay, we're nearing the halfway point on our trip. I certainly hope that you're enjoying it. Oh look, there's the convenient call Skype button that you can click on, which will automatically connect you to the citizen panel. So now we're turning down the center of the page. I don't want you to miss any of these attractions, so please pay attention. Up first is a link to the 24/7 feed. Now these are going to come fast and furious, so pay attention. Next is a quick note on how you can hear GabNet on Amazon Echo. Next, quickly coming behind that, and this is always exciting, a screen that shows Alex Bennett's Ramble when it is live, with a countdown to the next show. It's always fun when we pass and the show is live. We're winding down our tour of Gabnet.net, but before we reach our final stop, it's important to note that there is a place for you to contact them with your comments. Let them know how you like Gabnet.net and the GabNet programming. And with that, we wrap up our tour. Remember, as you step off the bus, to please be careful. And also remember that GabNet is talk like you've never heard or seen it before. Did I mention, please tip your tour guide?
GabNet's creator and founder, Alex Bennett, is always looking for ways to stay on the cutting edge. He first revolutionized commercial radio. He built a career on being one of the first to speak to the new generation of the 60s. Then he reinvented himself on morning drive radio, where he was the first to use a live studio audience and guest comedians each morning. Another ratings winner. Next, Alex took off for outer space as he brought his unique perspective on politics and news to the satellites. Always a pioneer, his next stop was to create a unique format that no one else had ever done, with citizen panels on the internet. What's next? Is there any place left to innovate? Are there any stones left unturned? Introducing GabNet Live on Roku. That's right, GabNet Live on Roku. No lies, because you can't lie on the internet. GabNet is now available on your TV. You can listen to GabNet's 24/7 network stream or browse your favorite GabNet shows from the archives, just like on Gabnet.net. But that's not all. You can also watch video of Alex's archived live stream TV programs, as well as his televised Friday Night Ramble. It's all there for you, and all you have to do is turn on your Roku device, search the Roku store for GabNet Live, and add the channel to your lineup. Then sit back and enjoy. It's GabNet Live on Roku. Thanks, Alex. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
It's not time to sing yet. Now we go. Hey, everybody. Wait a minute, I pushed the button and it didn't do it. Here, well, we'll do that. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Somehow it did not.
Help me out there. Somebody help me.
What?
Help me.
Talking to the microphone.
Help me.
What do you mean help you? Wait a minute.
me.
Hold on
I
a
have
second.
to live with
Let me
this.
see if this works now. There we go. See, it fades. It goes
I
over.
have to live with
Yeah,
this.
I've taken the brightness down on the video.
Where am I?
You're here.
Just
You're
checking.
there. You're there.
Just checking.
Everybody can see your lovely countenance.
All right.
You know.
Guess what I did?
What did you do?
I ordered us some Omaha steaks.
Why did you order Omaha
Because everybody
steak?
says that it's very good.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try it.
Really?
Yeah, so they have like this package
Yeah.
where you get like 2 steaks and 2 of this and 2 of that.
Yeah.
So I ordered it.
So that means
That means that we'll be fed for a week.
really we'll be fed for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned down the brightness on the pictures. I want to see if it looks better tonight because I watch it. I watch this show sometimes on the TV.
Do you?
Well, it's so I can see it all blown up, and the pictures are just a little too bright. So I brought the pictures down. So tell me if it looks good, folks. Look at her face. Smile at it. See. See, she looks good.
Aye.
She looks good. Yeah. For an old broad, you ain't bad.
I'm
you
an
know.
old broad, that's for sure.
Yeah. So anyway,
It's Friday, it's Friday.
You always sing that.
Ba, ba, ba. Well, because I like Friday.
you know, I should have taken a pee before I.
Well, go in the
I may
bucket.
have you just stay here and while I
I
get
had a
to-
guy one time that drove me from Pennsylvania, where I built that studio, to New York, and
Yeah.
he had to pee, and he peed in a jar that he carried with him as he was driving me to New
Don't
York.
laugh about this. Phil has had to do that for the last couple of years because his prostate was so big that he couldn't unload his bladder enough at one time, and he would have to carry a
bottle?
a jar with him. Yeah.
Phil, is that true?
Now he's carrying a bag around.
He's going from a jar to a bag.
Well, I see. I don't want.
When I first met you, when we first started sleeping together,
Yeah.
you were getting out of the bed 8-10 times
That's
a
right.
night.
That's right. And then I went to a urologist, and the urologist gave me a pill called finasteride, and another thing which is kind of like what the Cialis does, which was called Flomax, and you would take the finasteride because that shrunk the prostate, but it took like 3 months for it to do any real work. In the meantime, the Flomax kind of made loosened up the prostate or something, so the
We're
pee.
talking about old people
So, wait a minute,
things
so
again.
the pee could go through. Every guy,
Yeah.
when he reaches 50,
See what you
will
have to look
start
forward to?
start having urinary problems because God sucks.
Well,
Because God made this thing about the size of a walnut with a hole in it, and then he put the urethra right through it. And so when you get older and it gets bigger and it starts clamping down on it, and you can't empty your bladder as much as you used to be able
who
to.
was the comedian Red Fox?
Yeah.
He said God's little game on people's, and he put the vagina two inches away from your asshole.
Oh, yeah. But no, so I'm like, it was a real problem, as you may remember. And then when I started taking the pills and everything, all of a sudden I'd sleep a whole night without.
But snoring, that's when you're during your snoring days.
Yeah, but then I lost all the weight.
Right.
And I don't snore anymore.
Now I do.
You snore more than I do.
Because I wear a bite plate. I wear a guard.
Well, tell them about your bite plate.
No,
This is
I
the
don't
newest.
want
This
to.
is-
I don't want to. It's old people's stuff. I don't want to
Hey,
talk about.
I've gotten to finally decide this is an old people's show. You know.
Yeah, there's a difference between getting old and getting older. I don't care what your ex-wife says, but this is the way it is.
Well, you want to have an argument with her?
No,
You gonna
I'm
have a
going to
pissing
tell.
match
I'm
about
going to
this?
tell you.
Yeah.
Getting old is harsh. It's like you're there. I'm getting older. I'm sliding into it.
Oh no, you're
Yeah.
skidding into it.
I'm sliding.
You're skidding into it.
I'm sliding.
And as you skid, you careen off the curb,
I'm
and then you fall flat on your face.
Sliding into it. I'm getting older, and I'm sliding into it. I don't believe
Really?
in this harsh reality.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, we had a snow break on Wednesday. It was actually no reason.
She's
to
like a
stay
kid,
home.
you know. Good, it's a snow day. I don't have to go to work. It's snow day.
Oh, it was wonderful. I slept and watched TV and fell asleep again. I mean, it was.
Now, mind you, this nor'easter with all this snow hit a day after spring began.
Yes, a day after spring began.
Now, I always look forward to spring because I figure like the 20th of the month comes and the birds will start chirping, but they were just out there coughing and sneezing. You know, it was terrible. And it was, you know, it isn't great yet. I mean, I went out today and I went, well, it looks nice,
Well, let me
but
tell
it
you,
doesn't feel nice.
Compared to the rest of the week, I went out today. I only had gloves. I didn't put my scarf on. I didn't put my hat on. So to me, it was fine.
It was fine?
Yeah, and
Okay.
the sun was out. I had to put my sunglasses on. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a beautiful day today.
But
When was the last time you were out?
today.
Yeah, but just for a short
I
time.
went down. Yeah, because it was cold out there.
Wasn't cold.
Here's my question
It's
to
still
you.
March.
Here's my question to you. Why should I go outside? It's cold. You know, why should I go out? And you want, oh, it's very sunny out there. I can see that through the windows.
You're atrophying.
I'm not
Yes, you
atrophying.
are. You are. You're hunched over when you walk.
You make a big deal out of that.
Well, I said I don't want to look like my husband.
Is that what you told the
Yes.
person at your gym?
Yes. I said I don't want to look like
And you know what
him.
that person's probably thinking to themselves? Then why the heck did she marry him?
She's still trying to figure that out.
Yeah?
We have an anniversary coming up.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We have
And actually, that's the last time we took a vacation.
Why is it I always pay for our anniversary dinners?
That's not true. The last few years, I have been paying with my Chinese New Year's money.
Oh, we have our Chinese New Year's money. I
Yes.
forgot about that.
Yeah, and I did last year and the year before that.
Can you show it to the people?
No, I'm not showing
Well,
it. It's,
show
no,
it.
I don't want to. It's up on the wall.
It's like, what, $700
I
in
don't,
there?
that's none of your business.
$100 bills. Well, it was less because I took a few a couple of days ago. No, I forgot that's
Yeah.
that takes care of our meal.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Good. So it's being paid for
By the Chinese New Year.
by Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
It's the year of the what
it was
this
a
year?
Dog. It was a Chinese New Year gift from my people that I work with.
Yeah, they all give her. It's like a tip.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're the super.
Yeah, it's like, thank you. Yeah, it's true.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like you're the super. Here's a couple.
I am. I'm the office manager. I kind of keep them in tow.
Each of them kind of give you $100. Some
Couple
give you
hundred.
a couple of hundred. Yeah.
Hans gave me 3. I mean, it was just nice. It was just nice.
You know, they.
I love the company I work for. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm tired of working. There's no question about that. But since I have to work, this is a great job. I mean, they treat me so well.
Yeah.
And they are so it's like it's the first job I've ever had in my life where I didn't walk around with my shoulders up to my ears because of the politics in the office.
Yeah,
you know?
well, I don't have my shoulders up around my ears. They're down like this.
Well, that's
'Cause you
true.
say I always am like this, right?
You
Yeah.
walk like this.
I walk like that?
Yeah.
No, I don't. You know what happens, though, when I get out of bed? If I'm lying in bed for a long time and I get out, I lean to one side. I don't know why, but I think it's because I was leaning
The way
in
you were
bed.
sleeping.
Yeah.
I would say the first 2 steps out of bed are the
Oh,
hardest.
yours
for
are
me.
like, you look like an old lady when
Well,
you get
my
out of bed.
back. Yeah, I mean, it's hard.
Well, I remember the days when I'd have a nice young woman sleeping in bed with me, and
I had a nice young man.
In the morning, I would wake up and I would see this naked woman walking across.
You're
and
the
going,
oldest man
Geez,
I-
I am so fucking lucky. She is so hot, right? And now I have this lady who like.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Well, you never see me get out of bed.
Because you never get out of bed.
Because I never get out of bed. No, no, but I have my chores. I take care of the house.
Yes, you do.
And I also take care. Got us our health insurance.
Yes, you did.
But
they rejected me.
Listen to this.
No.
Now I know, but I don't understand this. Okay.
Night guards are probably the most important thing that young adults and older adults use.
Let me explain this for a second.
Percentage of people that use night guards.
When you have dental insurance, it's not really dental insurance. It takes up to $2,500.
They insure what they want to. That's what the guy told me.
Well, but here's the thing. They could insure everything, and as soon as you use up that $2,500, you've used your $2,500.
Exactly.
Here they told her, well, we don't cover that, and I'm going, why not? It gets us closer to paying off the $2,500, and it was a bite plate.
It's a night guard that I've been wearing a night guard since I was 21.
And what our dental plan said, it's the only thing they don't carry.
No, they say that doesn't cover that. I'm sure there's other things it doesn't cover either. So that was my first thing with the insurance. And then Monday, I'm meeting with my pain doctor, so that's going to be interesting to see if those pills go through.
Oh, well, no, those pills won't have a problem going through, provided you have the proper doctor.
Well, I go to a pain doctor, my God, yes.
Yeah, and if he feels you need it, then you need it. I'm sure there are other people who are on, what is it, oxycodone or whatever it is you take?
No, it's Dilaudid.
Dilaudid.
It's
Dilaudid.
Dilaudid.
Yeah.
Dilaudid. It's pharmaceutical
I
heroin.
know. That's what I got in the hospital when I was having my kidney. The thing I loved.
It's strong stuff. They're so tiny.
Yeah.
It's.
You don't use it that much, though, do you?
I take it when I need it. This was a bad week because the weather was going from nice to bad to bad to nice.
But, I mean, a health plan will not deny you pain pills. They just will probably, limit how many you can get at a time. Like you found, there's a Lunesta.
Lunesta.
And what the insurance company did with the Lunesta
will give you 15 in a 23-day period.
Well, that's so that you won't do it every night. So
yeah.
That was the whole thing on that one. That's why they,
I just wanted to stockpile that.
Yeah,
Why
well,
not?
I have a stockpile of it, but that's the way they dole it out, and that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm afraid. I mean, because. That they're not going to give it to me, or I have to come back every 10 days for another 5.
The thing is, here's what happens. We throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, you know something? It's like Trump wants to put all the drug dealers in prison or hang them or execute them. Start with the pharmaceuticals.
Well, yeah.
Start with the distributors of the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah,
They're the ones that push it.
But let me say to begin with, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, years ago, a very therapeutic psychological drug was made impossible for you to lay your hands on because they made it really illegal. It was called LSD.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But it had therapeutic uses, and it was a psychiatric therapeutic drug.
And it worked.
For the most
part.
If you had a shrink who was willing to spend 8 hours with you doing the session, then it worked, okay? But and you could bypass years of psychiatric counseling. But with the wave of a hand, they went, all these kids are having drugs on campus, and we've got to make this illegal, and they made it impossible for you to even use it. Okay.
Well, look what happened with grass.
Well, marijuana was the same thing, too, for years.
Grass.
But the thing is that when you do that, you also forget that there's a woman like Marjorie here. Look at them as the poster child for this. Just look sad. Look like you're needy. No, you're trying to look sexy. No, yeah, there we go. There we go. You can deny this woman her Dilaudid, or you can feed a hungry child. I don't know what the phrase would be, but the fact is, she needs it. She has terrible back pain, and this is the only thing that really helps.
And what the doctor said, because I was really afraid that I would become addicted, and he said, you're dependent on it, and that's good because it's working. Mm-hmm. But I've never gotten high from it.
He said you're not addicted to it.
Yeah, he said you're dependent on it, and that's good. That means that it's working, but I'm not addicted to it.
Right.
I'm dependent on it. But one time you took the pill, and you were just floating all over the place, and I've never, ever gotten high off of that pill. So it goes right to the pain.
Yeah, in fact, I didn't like the way it got me high particularly.
Well, you weren't used to it. You didn't know what to expect.
But anyway, but the point is that yes, there is an opiate crisis in this
works
country.
for me, and I'm highly monitored. I mean, highly monitored.
But there's a reason why there are opiates, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And you're a good example of that. So I don't
abuse it.
I don't think they'll deny it to you. They might say you have to get it every 23 days or something or whatever. But, you got it under your old plan, so there's no reason why this plan shouldn't cover it.
Well, look what happened with the Lunesta.
Well, but the Lunesta is a slightly different
I didn't
drug.
have that problem with the other pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, but also your doctor did not give you a lot of them at one time either. He would only give you 30 of them at a time.
Well, that's all you need for a month.
Yeah, but you're not going to use it every day.
I know you're not going to use it, but I never had to go every 10 days.
Anyway, they're so afraid of this opioid crisis that they forget that there are people who genuinely have pain. So it makes it harder for you to get the pills. Like your private doctor, our private doctor, who's our internist, would not prescribe what your pain doctor prescribes for you, because he told you once that he doesn't prescribe that anymore because there's he might get in too much trouble for it.
Right.
So if you have a pain doctor doing it.
Yeah, who just specializes in pain.
Yeah.
He gives me the shot in my spine.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't think they're going to deny you that. I mean, what? They're going to deny you relief from your pain? Go, give it the pathetic look again.
It's
you actually look very pretty that way when you do that little
1021.
Huh?
I'm just saying.
1021.
I'm just saying, for anyone out there that wants to know the time and it's not near a clock.
Let's see here. What, anybody saying stuff here?
No.
Let's see here. No, let me see. There's
Forbin
Forbin says, I don't know Marjorie's age, but truth be told, Marjorie has an incredible complexion. Good skin, girlfriend.
I work at it. Thank you.
He also says, circa 1990, the AMA urged doctors to prescribe more opiates because the trend was to restrict them. Opiates are safer than acetaminophen, Tylenol. That is horrid to one's liver and causes illness.
That's right. That's right. Same with ibuprofen. I only take ibuprofen when I absolutely have a headache.
Well, why do you think I had? I take it. We have these heavy-duty ones only when I have some pain. But the reason why I don't do it too much is because of the kidney stone.
Yeah,
it can cause kidney stones.
I take it for headaches because it's the only thing that really gets rid of a headache.
I have cystic kidneys.
You have a cystic mouth, too.
No, my doctor, when he did the thing, he said, you got cysts on your
When he put his finger up
he said, but that's not uncommon.
When he put his finger up your ass?
No, he didn't put his finger up my ass. What he put up my ass was an electronic instrument. And he did a...
And it felt good.
I actually felt it was better than what I used to feel when they'd stick the finger up there. And he went in there and he looked around and everything, and then he said, "You'll look fine. Come back in 6 months. Let's take another test and come back in 6 months."
I have to pay for this big machine.
Yeah, I'm going. Why does he want me to come back in 6 months? And then I get the bill, and it's $400 for him sticking this probe up my ass for a minute and a half. Okay, so now I don't trust. I like him, but I don't trust him.
Right. Right,
you know,
right.
At my age, if I don't even have my prostate checked, something else will kill me first.
Yep.
Yeah, like you're nagging me or whatever.
Oh, I'll put the
But
dirt in.
anyway, I do. See, I've become the house husband.
Yes, he has.
I've been out of work now for
5 years,
almost 5 years. I had one of my Sirius XM nightmares last night.
Oh God.
Yeah, but anyway. So
he's the house husband.
I become the house husband,
which is fine by me.
At 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm putting the dishes away from the dishwasher. Yeah, and I cook dinner most nights.
Well, I don't eat with you most nights.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Yes, you do.
10:24.
Is this the worst argument we're going to get into
tonight? Can I roll over?
Not yet.
I want to roll over.
No, that's what she said. Anyway.
You like saying that. You say it every single week.
What?
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Yeah, well, it's an old joke. Hey, I watched this
Tonight,
what?
the one we just started watching?
No, forget that. I watched that interview with the Playmate last night.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it today.
I didn't see it. How was it?
I thought she was quite credible. I think the only question is, what is she trying to get out of all of this? And I think she probably wants to get out of that.
She wants to tell all.
She wants to be able to publish her own book. Okay?
Well, Sunday's going to be interesting.
And by the way, I think she has more of a story than Stormy Daniels. Stormy Daniels met him up at Tahoe. Supposedly, this woman was at Tahoe with him too, and they were going together. And she said, I never saw anybody there. He did mention there were some Playmates there, and I left a day earlier than him, so maybe he did. But Stormy Daniels, I think, only had one encounter with him.
I thought they dated for months.
Well, I will have to wait and see.
I mean, aren't there tapes and photos of the two of them together?
The interview's on Sunday. But anyway, this woman went with him for 9 months and was pretty consistent. It was pretty consistent. She said that she called it off because she felt very uncomfortable about it. She didn't like being
with him.
No, didn't like being the homewrecker.
Yeah.
And women like her have become the homewrecker because in the case of Ivana, Marla Maples was the woman that he was, In fact, she and Ivana got into, I think, a big
fight in Aspen, Colorado.
Yeah.
It was all over People magazine.
But this woman seemed very credible in what she was saying. I believe that he did have sex with her over a long period.
He didn't use a condom, she said.
Yeah, he didn't use a condom. He says, I don't like them. Well, what guy does, Donald? But if a woman asks me to use a condom, I'll use a condom. And when it was at the top of the AIDS scare, it probably was something you should have thought about. And he wasn't using a condom, and then he was fucking everything in sight. Good going, Donald. Really responsible. I'm amazed that but it was an interesting interview. She said she voted for Trump. She's a Republican. She's a church woman. She's like found God.
Is this the Playmate or is this the one?
This is the Playmate.
Okay, but there's a bunny too, isn't there?
No.
There's three.
There's
three.
No, there's the Playmate.
And a bunny. And a bunny.
No,
they say there's a difference between a Playmate. Playmate was in the covers of the magazines, and the bunny was a bunny.
The bunnies worked at the clubs.
Right. Well, there was a bunny. There were three women. One was a bunny.
Well,
one was
there's
a
supposedly
Playmate.
about 9 women who've come forward. And I am not.
He's such a scumbag.
Huh?
He's such a scumbag.
Well, I'm not about ready for any minute to not believe that, yes, he probably was,
I'm rolling over.
Banging. That's what she says. Sit over there. It's not time yet. It's not time yet. I'll let you know when it's time. Okay? You got a couple of minutes here.
28.
Huh? No, don't even come over into my frame here. Your hand, you have to come this way. There you go.
Oh,
you see? Look at there we go. There's a spooky hand. Or you can do Senor Wences.
Who was talking about him the other night?
I was.
Shut the box. Shut the box.
Because you
shut the box. Shut the box.
Because we were talking. This is Senor Wences Way.
Oh, right.
Off of Broadway.
Right.
Broadway and I think 54th.
I worked there.
Yeah.
I worked on 54th between Broadway and 8th.
Senor Wences Way.
Right around the corner.
And on that same street that Senor Wences Way was on. Yes.
Studio 54.
No.
Studio 54 was
more
on.
than that. More important than that. What do you call it? The Soup Nazi.
Across the street, yeah.
The Soup Nazi became famous on the Seinfeld show, was across the street.
Right.
And the guy who was writing for the Seinfeld show used to go there every day to get this wonderful soup, and this guy was like a Nazi. So he wrote an episode with the Soup Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
And the Soup Nazi was on that street on Senor Wences Way.
He got famous. He put plaques in his store.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As seen on Jerry Seinfeld.
By the way, I have had that soup, and I got to tell you, that was some fucking great
He had
soup.
a lot of soups.
I
It
got a
was a soup
lobster
store.
bisque there.
He had many
and it was
soups.
great. No, he only had the one.
That's not true, Alex.
He
I
only
worked right
no,
across
come
the
here.
street.
So, he only had the one store.
Right, and he had many
and,
soups.
and many soups.
Yeah.
And then he tried to franchise it, and it just didn't
Flop.
work. Well, you know.
All right, call in.
No, what,
I'm putting it in the middle.
No,
because
the
always tell
middle.
me-
The middle is here, equidistant here, middle. See, mic, middle. If you want the whole mic, you can have the whole mic. I don't care. You can go ahead and do it.
Open up
You
the
know.
boards.
What do you mean open it? Oh, I have to open up the phone
Yeah,
lines, don't I?
that would help.
Otherwise, nobody can call. Okay. Now we wait for about a half hour while we wait. I always have this horrible feeling that one night nobody's going to call.
Well, then you have to just talk. You've done that. You
I-
rant, your little
Like
rants.
tonight, I'm having coffee. I haven't had coffee all week. I've been using tea, so I've been sleeping without pills and so on. But tonight's
There's-
pill night.
Some teas
because-
have a lot of caffeine in it.
Well, the tea I use doesn't. I use Earl Grey.
It has caffeine. Of course it does.
But it doesn't I can go to sleep after the show. But last night I woke up at 9 in the morning after going to bed at 2, and I was I'm slightly tired today.
Hey, I love your little.
Hello.
What's it called?
Microphone.
No, I love the microphone, but what's it called? The little promos.
Oh, the promo. She loves your promo. Your latest
The
promo.
latest one. It's great.
Thanks.
You know, I send him
Car
some.
going down the street, the sightseeing tour.
This is Rob Alfano, who is the voice of Gabnet, among other things.
He is the voice
And-
of Gavin,
and-
and he's got a great microphone.
Yeah, he has a great microphone.
A hot microphone.
You want to buy me one of those?
No.
No. Okay. Is that a USB microphone?
No,
No.
it's regular Canon connected.
What's the brand again?
This is Samsung. My brother works for the company.
Oh yeah, Samsung. Not
Samsung.
Samsung, but Samsung.
By the way, the three women, one was a bunny.
And one was a playmate.
No, I'm sorry. One is a playmate. One is Stormy, the
Stormy.
porn star. The third one is a woman from The Apprentice that he fired.
Yes.
Ah.
She's the one who claims that he unwantedly he sat next to her, he grabbed her breast, he kissed her, that kind of thing. So
So there was no bunny.
no bunny.
There was no
Okay,
bunny.
No bunny.
No bunny. There's Phil Meyer.
Fill in his bag.
And also Mr. Nunn. How are you this evening? Vernon?
I'm great.
Vernon wrote me a note today. We'll talk about it a little bit later about he had prostate cancer and how he took care of it. Yeah. It involves a hooker in Tijuana. It's kind of an interesting.
Wired himself to a couple of resistors and a capacitor, and it was all over.
Yeah, right, exactly. But anyway, so Rob, she loves that.
Love it,
that
it.
spot. And the thing that made him great with that spot is I just simply sent him this very boring redo of what we had done once before, and he looked at it and said, "I got an idea," and he did that spot with taking a bus
Great.
ride around.
I love it.
I got your email while I was sitting in the car waiting for my wife to come out of the store, and I was like, I got to do something with this. And then I just said, what could you do with it? It's a tour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tour around. Well, what would we do with a tour? Well, it's a bus tour. I've been on the bus tours in New York City,
Yeah.
full-decker tour, and I thought, okay.
Do they ask for you to tip your driver that often?
Yes, of course they do.
By the way, Ray, turn on your camera. We can't see your face.
Yeah, I'm outside on my phone, so as soon as I get home, I'll
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, just shout whenever you want to talk, okay? Because we
Okay.
can't see you.
Okay.
Raise your hand.
By the way, tomorrow is March in Washington, D.C. with the kids.
All over the country.
Right. All over the country. And Anderson Cooper had a special on tonight, which was just inspiring about the entire thing. It was wonderful.
Really?
Wonderfully done. I would look for it on
YouTube.
on demand.
On demand?
Yeah.
We have that on
The
demand?
Parkland something, I can't think of the name of it exactly, but it showed you footage of the actual tragedy, the kids stuck in closets and talking, and it was just
Wow.
it was really, really inspiring what these kids are doing.
Yeah.
Get them, kids.
Yeah, go get them, kids. I just hope.
Hope we have, really.
If anyone that can change the world, it's them.
Yep.
I hope though and pray that not too many adults jump in and try and get publicity out of it, because
We're getting a lot of noise. The wind.
we have wind noise.
Oh, that's
Ray.
me. That's me. That's me. Let me see if I can turn it off.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oops. Well, that turned it off. Yeah. Let me see. It's perfect. Yeah. Well, now we don't hear the wind
Vernon
noise.
raised his hand.
No, did you raise your hand, Vernon, or were you just going?
No, I was just saying that's perfect.
That's perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. Yes, Phil.
Did you know that the government is going after anyone that's has a medical marijuana card and saying that they are not eligible to own a gun? Because there are questions on the form that you have to fill out to buy the thing that says, are you doing any drugs? And
oh yeah, like people are just going to say, "Sure, I'm doing drugs." Yeah,
no,
love doing them.
You have a medical marijuana card, isn't it registered?
Well, just because you have a medical marijuana card doesn't mean you use it.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't mean you use it.
Over that, saying that she doesn't use it, and she only got it to support the movement. And
and by the way, you don't have to have the card anymore in California.
It's legal.
I've never bought marijuana in California.
Well, you just go down to you can go down to the dispensary and buy it right there. You don't need the card or anything anymore.
It's just for anybody.
It's legal. Why don't you try it, Phil?
I don't like getting high. I had a puff when it became legal. I was over at a friend's house, and my friend Will. I said to him, yeah, "Okay, I'll try it," because they always offer me. I always pass. I took one puff. I was hungry. I couldn't stop talking. That's pretty dangerous. And
nothing wrong with any of those things. Nothing wrong with any of those things.
The eating part is.
Well, I get hungry too.
And the jabber about nothing. Was a real waste of time.
Well, there are better drugs. If you want to talk, have meaningful conversation. Cocaine's very good for conversation.
Yeah,
and also what was it? Ecstasy. Ecstasy, amazing, wonderful drug.
Yeah, I'll go out and get it right away.
For
so
sex.
We're talking about nothing. Were you continuing your banter about Trump?
These guys are so anti-Trump. It's like being being in with the devil, although he's been a friend since the 70s.
Oh, we've got Ray on the street. Ray, why don't you do this? Turn your camera sideways, because that way we get the landscape version. No, just turn your camera sideways so you get landscaped instead of portrait. Instead of portrait.
Gotcha.
See, there we go. Wow. See?
Oh, okay.
Where does he live?
Palo Alto.
How nice.
Hey, take me up the driveway of the Hewlett Packard garage. Are you near there?
Oh no, it's about 2 miles that way.
Too bad.
Hey, I clicked on this podcast last night, and this guy.
What were you doing? Cheating on me?
Nah, kind of. And this guy picks up his guitar and he's doing this Bonnie Raitt thing. And he was fabulous.
You listen?
Yeah. And he was fabulous. Ray, you got to do, what is it called? Something among Angels.
Wait a minute. Was it Ray?
It was Ray.
Yeah.
He's great.
Podcast.
Wait a minute. You never sing. You got to sing on this show, Ray.
He is great.
All right. I'll be in about 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Bring your guitar.
Unless it's original material, he can't sing.
Well, no, it's people can do Bonnie. You just can't play the Bonnie Raitt.
You can't.
No, he can't.
No, I played the guitar and sang it.
Yeah. But do you have a song you've written maybe that you could play? That we could get away with that without any problem.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What if it's a parody?
I'm going to bed.
You're going to bed?
I don't have.
I'm going to bed, guys.
Yeah. What if it was a parody? I thought parodies don't.
Parodies are fine.
Yeah.
Listen.
I do have a Yankovic song I can play.
Oh yeah.
No, you were so good on that song. I was falling asleep, and then all of a sudden I hear this song, and it's going on for several what do they call it?
Where was it?
It was
in my room.
Oh, you were just doing a Facebook Live thing, right?
No. I have a podcast, Alex, that I do every week or so, and I just played it at the end because I had gone to see Bonnie Raitt last week.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And
I think it was the only way I could maybe not get sued.
Yeah, well, I would imagine maybe if you sang it, we wouldn't have a problem because it doesn't key off of something like that.
There's no electronic embedding because it's not an audio recording.
You could be very right about that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can do a cover without being in trouble.
Do you remember the days where you could play anything you wanted?
Yeah.
I know. Now it's like if you play more than 4 seconds, you got to be careful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Ray, I'm falling asleep, and I hear this, and I said, "Geez, this is really good." And I woke back up, and I listened to it to the end.
Yeah, I did the whole song. I figured, what the hell?
And now
it's at the end of the podcast anyway.
Yeah, now I'm one of your
Thank
5
you.
followers. You know.
Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, on Podbean I got 5 people. I got about average of about maybe 50 downloads an episode, something like that.
Yeah.
Really? That's 5 more than I get.
Well, well, the thing is one time I was part of a thing called Wave Radio, and they did a one every day, and it was a different person doing something really interesting, and we had a ton of listeners, but it was run by this guy in London, and he just went berserk on us because he claimed that I violated a copyright, even though I had permission from the written permission, and he freaked out and just took the whole thing down. Just took it down one day. It was gone.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple thousand regular listeners.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden it's gone.
Years ago.
So now I got 50.
When I was doing Midnight Blue in New York, the sex show, we used as a theme song, "They're Playing Our Song," which was written by Marvin Hamlish for the show "They're Playing Our Song."
Yeah.
And I get a call one day, and it's Marvin Hamlish's office, and it's the secretary, and she says, "Mr. Hamlish wants me to call you about the use of his song. They're playing our song on your show, Midnight Blue." I said, "Yeah," and I'm getting ready for it, right? And she says, "Mr. Hamlish wants you to know that he loves your show and gives you permission to use it as much as you want to, and if you want to use any of his other songs, that'd be fine too."
I love it.
So at least I had a blatant pass from Marvin Hamlish. Of course, he's dead now, so I can't play his songs any longer. But
could have done the old Marvin Hamlish channel here.
The old Marvin Hamlish channel. And what would be the first song on the Marvin Hamlish channel if we went all the way back to the first hit he ever wrote?
Wow.
Oh, God. I don't know what it would be. I don't remember.
Remember that song?
Hamlish.
Yeah. The first song he ever did was "Sunshine, Lollipops, Rainbows," a thing with Leslie Gore sang. That was the first.
Sunshine and lollipops.
Sunshine. No. Sunshine, lollipops, and da 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 da. And he wrote that. That was the first thing he ever wrote that he sold to somebody because his dentist knew Leslie Gore. and so he said, "Here, give me a song you wrote, and I'll give it to Leslie Gore, see if she wants to use it." And she used it. And that was his first bona fide hit. So.
How about that?
Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. Was it in a
now,
musical?
of course, most of the audience out there is going, "Who the fuck is Leslie Gore?" That's another story altogether.
Al Gore's daughter.
No.
That would be Al Gore's mother.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, but it used to be that we just used music, and if they told you to cease and desist, you ceased and desist. But But now you got the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and I've actually I have songs. We buy our music for Gabnet, as Rob knows, because he has access to the library. And it's all stuff that we pay a certain fee, about $120 a year, to get all the music that they have and use all of it. And it's a pretty good production library.
You have the video one too?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, a lot of the backgrounds you see on the website and so on, and the visuals that I use here are from that library. But what happened is, we use that, and occasionally I've had this happen where I used a song like the thing we used for the old theme song, which went like this. Wait a minute, let me see here if I can. Yeah, okay, I can play it.
It's off of YouTube.
You won't be able to hear it, folks. You hear that, right? You remember that song? Well, that was my old theme song, and I get a thing from I don't know. I think it was Facebook. YouTube. This song's in copyright, and I go, of course it's in copyright. Somebody owns it, but you know, give me a break. I paid for it, and so. Then I have to go through all this stuff. I have to have this organization, which is called Audio Blocks, send them a letter saying, yes, he has the rights to it. Sometimes these people just, say, oh, well, you have rights to the music, even though they've sold it out to some company for mass selling. So I've had problems like that, too, even with stuff that's okay for me to use. Yes, Bob?
Yeah, I find it funny that the gentleman that's walking down the street was on a radio station from the UK, because the radio station I'm on is in the UK also.
Oh.
And,
yeah, that's Ray Renati, by the way, who's walking his...
It was called Wave Radio, but it was only on the internet.
Yeah, by the way, has your dog taken a dump?
No, which surprises me, because I have my bag.
So does Phil.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, Phil. We could time it. Oh, my dog's taking a dump right now. She's taking a dump. Go ahead, Fox.
Okay, let's.
She's camera shy.
They walk a special way when they're going to have a dump.
Yes, she did, and then she stopped as soon as I put the camera on her.
Well, maybe if you just stop, she'll.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
She's preparing. She's preparing. She's getting a good spot. Okay. Okay, this is taking too long. Come on. Action.
Doesn't need dump blacks. No.
Do this. Why don't you give her a magazine? that always calms me down.
Almost. This is exciting. This makes for exciting YouTube visuals.
Here comes John Peroulis, ladies and gentlemen. John has joined us. Yes. So thanks for joining us right while a dog is taking a dump on the
hey, that looks like my dog.
I know. I saw it.
He looks like my dog.
Wait a minute. It is your dog. He stole yours.
No, my dog's sick. He's downstairs. Yeah, just came back from the doctor.
We all have the same kind of dog and the same kind of Gabnet garb.
You're right. Yours is a little white dog too, right?
Yeah, mine looks like.
And John, what's your dog? Like that, right?
Yeah, it's a Maltese mini poodle mix. Yeah, he's got tendinitis. It's pretty bad. He's doing cold laser treatments, and we need to do a bunch of those.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. And how much is that costing?
There she goes. Oh.
It's not bad. It's a little over $200 for 5 treatments. So it's.
I got the insurance that Rob told me about.
Yeah.
I pay $32 a month, and if it goes over $200 or $250 a year, they reimburse me 80%.
Right.
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
What's the name of the company?
A Healthy Paws, PAWS.
Oh, yeah, I'll look into it. Yeah, thanks. How are you feeling?
And I'm feeling, reasonable for what.
Good. Yeah.
I mean, my business manager, his dog got sick once, cost him $7,000.
Exactly.
And the funny part is, when it's your pet, you'll pay anything.
Well,
you know,
the dog had something, a growth on her gum, and it was like $1,500. And the company paid back, and it was no issue.
Yeah.
Wow.
They sent me a check.
I haven't used mine yet.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying they're legitimate and they do pay, and it's not a problem.
You know, you only have to use it once for it to be worth the price, right?
My cat will be the one who has the insurance. I don't have it on the kitten yet, but my cat will be 13 tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can get expensive.
Well, these pets, for us, the pets are part of the family. They're really important members. And, well, I'm a longtime Greenpeace environmental activist, and I believe in the kind of the horizontal value of everything. I think, in other words, I don't subscribe to the medieval chain of great being with God and at the top and the angels and all this. I think if we started looking at all life as on a horizontal thing, I think would be more respectful of living things.
So you want us to hang up now so you can go? This is where you normally call from, right? Oh no, where?
Yeah.
Where?
This is the house. I'll switch. Yeah.
Okay.
Hang up on me.
Oh, okay, I'll hang up on you.
So all you guys got fancy dogs. Mine's a found on the freeway, and I'm the Republican.
Albie's a rescue dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was wandering the streets in the rain in Antioch, California. Where all the oil fields are and everything. And
everybody says that that rescue dogs, rescue animals in general, are much better than hybrid. Because like this cat that we cat sit every now and then, Berta, was a rescue, and she's just wonderful. She's just wonderful. Oh, there's Vernon Nunn. There's his doggie. What's your doggy's
dog.
What's your doggy's name?
Barks.
Oh, that's
Barks.
Yes.
Okay. It's because his color is like Barks root beer, so it's BARQS.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
And what is your dog's name, Phil?
Ella, and that's because when I found her, she had a tattoo of an umbrella on her inner thigh, and little did we know that represented a no-kill shelter that the previous people adopted her that threw her out, called Umbrella of Hope. So when we found her, we didn't know what to call her, so we called her Ella the Umbrella, and it stuck.
Okay. And Bob, what's the name of your dog?
Well, we got 5.
5?
Yeah. We got Lucy and Girly and Barkley and Molly, and what's the other one?
Got a lot of dogs.
It's been a long day.
John, how about you?
Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
It's Albie.
Albie. Okay.
Albie.
And your cat's names, Rob?
My cat's names are Maxie. She's the 13-year-old, and Jack is the 1.5-year-old.
I see. Okay. So, and Renee is now on the line. Renee, what's your dog's name? Renee, you there?
I don't think she can hear us yet.
She can't hear us yet. Oh well.
She's watching spinner dolphins.
Let's see here. I had George, a cat named George, and another one named God, I forgot my cat's names now.
Shabbos.
There was Shabbos. There was Yontiv. Okay.
Yontif.
Yeah. Well, we had Shabbos because we got him on Saturday, and I said we'll name him Shabbos, and that was fine. And then we got a female, and we said, what will we call her? Well, what's the equivalent of Shabbos? Well, Yontif, good Yontif. So we named her Yontif. And cool. And then we got some other cats, and had one cat who was just a little small kitty. And when I first saw her, I said, she reminds me of a mouse. So we named her Mouse, Mause. And
Cool.
And then there was George, and then there was Bert. Bert was really stupid. Bert was so stupid that you'd come home and the cat was sitting in the corner looking at the corner and just standing there. Yeah, he was really dumb. But Charlie, on the other hand, his brother, was amazingly bright, you know.
Teachers used to do that to me all the time. There was the corner, there was the stool, you look at the corner.
Yeah. And Bert, Charlie was so wonderful with me that I'd sit there watching television, you know, propped up on the pillows, and Bert would come over and next to me and put his paw around my shoulder and watch television with me. Really cool cat. Really cool. And Shabbos was, of course, wisdom personified. I mean, he was Zen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bob Ebert's got his.
Yes, Bob Ebert.
Yeah, we had a dog we called Kiffy, which is short for kitchen floor inspector. We adopted him, and they had brought him straight from where they had picked him up to the adoption. And he had been in a house left abandoned. And we felt sorry for him, and we adopted him. They had to shave him completely bald. He was so matted and everything. But we thought he was going to be food aggressive and everything because of his conditions. He was the happiest dog I've ever seen in my life. And he never seemed to want to have a lot of attention. About once a day, he'd come over, you pet him on the head, he'd look at you and just run off wagging his tail.
Wow.
And he was the best dog I think we ever had.
The Shabbos and Yontif thing was, the predecessor to that was, we had when I was growing up, my parents got a dog. And we got the dog, and I guess this is a blasphemy of sorts, on Yom Kippur. So they named him Kipper. K-I-P-P-U-R. Not K-I-P-P-E-R, but K-I-P-P-U-R, like in Yom Kippur. And that's, of course, in case people don't know, in the Jewish religion, the highest of all holy days.
Day of Atonement.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, on a moonlit night, my dog, he was out there on the porch howling at the moon, doing the Kol Nidra. And, you know, it was pretty good. But that was where we got, that's where we got the whole thing from naming them after Jewish things. And then I got tired of that, because once we got up to 5 cats, you know. And then what happened is, one of them, my wife, Ronnie, God bless her at the time, went around and was constantly, would not, spay the female in the family.
Yeah.
But she kept neutering all the males, and and my joke used to be, so I got rid of her before she got around to me. But it was what was I? Where was I going with that?
She didn't spay the
female. Oh yeah. So the female was always having litters, because the cats who were in the house who didn't get neutered too fast enough would have a kid with us. So there was all this inbreeding going on with these cats. And at one point we had like 8-9 cats running around the house. And so we, as they came of age, we literally were asking everybody we knew, you know, would you like a kitty? You know, and because we had to give them away. And
get a box, a kid in the corner, and you know, put them there, free cats.
Yeah. Well, I was going to do that at one point, but we always managed to find somebody who would take one of these cats. But I remember one night we were out to dinner with Abby Hoffman. This was the first time I ever met Abby.
Abby Hoffman?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And we went out to dinner, or dinner after the show, and my wife, Ronnie, who was always asking everybody if they wanted a cat. She was like the cat pimp, you know, said in a very loving way to Abby, I know we don't know you very well, Abby, but, you know, would you like a cat? And he looked at her and said, without even batting an eyelash, are they good to eat?
That sounds like him.
Yeah. And from then on, we were friends, you know, because you can't beat that kind of humor.
Yeah.
Here we
Great
go.
guy.
Ray is ringing now. He's inside. I think. Are you there?
Was he streaming from a smartphone?
Yeah, he was streaming from a smartphone.
Wow, that's cool.
Oh yeah. No, we have a lot of people do that from time to time. Show us the outdoors. Yeah. And Ray should be popping in any moment. There he is.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So do you have your guitar there?
It's in the other room.
Well, go get it. Well, you're not getting.
You're going to have to sing for your breakfast.
All right. I mean, I'm only like, I only know. I mean, I haven't been playing much lately, so I can't do a whole hell of a lot.
That one tune was great.
Oh, thank you.
And you were great.
Yeah, well, I learned that because I had a show. I was doing a one-man show, and I learned like 3 songs on the guitar. The rest of them I sang with piano player, another piano. All right, okay. You want me to get it?
Yeah, go get the guitar. Okay. We need a little talent tonight. Hi, Jeff. We haven't really said hello to Jeff this evening. How are you, my friend?
Hello. How are you all?
Fine. I didn't ask you. Do you have any pets?
The name of my dog is No.
No.
No dog.
Oh, no dog. Okay.
Oh, that would be a good name, though. No, don't. No.
I'd love to have a cat here on a permanent basis, but I just, with the windows being on the 8th floor, and they're open during the summer, I don't want to take a chance of a cat committing kitty suicide.
Get some screens.
I have screens, but it panics me. Yeah.
Put up those child bars.
Child bars?
Yeah,
well, those things.
Those child bars they have.
Yeah. Those could work. Okay. So you got your guitar there, right?
I do have it here.
Yeah.
All right.
You want?
I mean, if you want me to play it, I should tune it first. I can turn my volume.
Oh no! Don't tune it. Let's hear you play untuned.
Really? Well, it's probably not, it is a little out of tune.
Well,
it's probably okay.
The show. Tuning's got to be.
Untuned is always better.
Yeah.
Give you an excuse too.
Excuses are always helpful when you suck.
Well,
I can't hear very much with that.
Well, this will be the true test. They say that this can't be played anywhere in the world.
I am an old woman. That's right, I'm an old woman named after my mother. My old man's another child that's grown old. If dreams were lightning, thunder was desire, this old house would have burned down a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living is just a hard way to go. That's one verse.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. And if you're watching this program and all of a sudden his song cut out, it's because I had to go back and edit it out in order for it to get it to be shown in Ireland or something, It
was only one verse, and he did see the show, and so it is, pertinent to the.
Yeah,
well, it's not
about the song.
Oh, if I tell you about the show and stuff, it'll be legal. Yeah, but I sang that because Bonnie Raitt is a wonderful artist and has been since the 60s, 70s, and 80s, 90s, and thousands.
Yeah.
She's also an activist, and her father was John Raitt, the famous Broadway star and producer. And that's why I sang this song.
And what show did John Raitt star in? What major theatrical tour de force did he star in?
Oklahoma. The Arthur Godfrey
Andy
Show.
Gun, Oklahoma.
Yeah. Oklahoma. Yeah.
And it was one of
I believe he also did Carousel.
She lives where?
Or Carousel, excuse me.
Carousel, yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Where did Bonnie Raitt live?
She lives in Mill Valley.
Oh, that's why she. Okay, I thought so because she's still really bummed out about the fires, and she had these two what do you call them? I can't think. Two organizations in the front there that were collecting money for the Napa fires.
Oh. Yeah. I think Sammy Hagar donated some money there too. He sometimes lives in Mill Valley, but he moves around a lot. So.
Yeah. I thought she was in L.A., but she's up here. Cool.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if when I finally put this thing online, if they suddenly go, yeah, you got a problem here with it. You know?
I think it's going to go through because there's no electronic signal implanted into.
But it also they also recognize songs.
Yeah, there's kinds of there's all kinds of they have pattern recognition for copyrighted material.
But
if you haven't been shut down right now, you're okay. Because I was playing a copyrighted song in the background on a live YouTube broadcast about 2 years ago, and boom, a red flag came right up, and they shut my broadcast down.
But it was live at the time. It was live at the time.
Yeah, it was live. Yeah, it was just a test. It's when the YouTube format first came out, and I was just running some tests on it, and then they sent me a private message that said, "Hey, one more red flag like that, and we're going to take your privileges away." So
it's funny.
But I shoot weddings and things, and
you can't broadcast a message, but you can, fake news and all kinds of, manipulation of information is quite okay.
Well, the place where I would have trouble initially would be Facebook. YouTube is rather forgiving now. What they do is they just have various levels of okay, this is a copyrighted song, and you can't use that song or whatever, or but it's not a count against you. It's just So, but we'll see. I mean, it could very well be this song will go through just fine, and if it doesn't, I'll have to go back and edit the whole show and cut out that wonderful.
I have seen all kinds of copyright violations on YouTube that just stay there forever. Nobody touches them. It's Facebook, and
it depends on the copyright material and how. I did a video that ran, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, and it was a compilation. I'm a big Yankee fan. It was video to music that was in the script. But I cut video around. I did not use one game play. I only used celebrations and high fives. I did not play. There was not a play or nothing. Just celebrations of as many championship things as I could find. MLB shut me down within a day.
Wow.
Yeah. They're very protective about that sort of thing. But there is a lot of stuff I've seen on YouTube, and it. It's music and everything else that they play. So in this case, I don't know if any red flags will go up because it's another person singing it. He paused a little bit here and there. It isn't going to be
myself.
Huh?
I couldn't hear myself with these on. I couldn't.
But I'm saying that it probably wasn't of a nature that it will be flagged. Yes, Bob.
I've downloaded whole albums off of YouTube with the YouTube recorder. I've downloaded whole concerts.
Yeah.
Sure. Also, it would have to be John Prine who would. Well, I mean, I don't know
I'll tell you.
Care that much.
He wrote
the song.
Let's get into this because we didn't get into this last night. The company that gave me the worst shit was Facebook. If I were to play a song, let's say during the show I were to play a song, even for 20, 30 seconds, they would literally cut the show off.
Wow.
They closed it down.
How does your last show from Florida do it? They play music. They do.
Well, no, that's not going over YouTube or. They are using Facebook Live, but they may not be going across. Plus, the music they play, they only play a little bit of it. You may notice they don't play the whole songs. They do it for fair comment or whatever. I don't feel comfortable with it, but the program's coming from somebody else. It's an outside vendor, and I really don't have to live with it. Okay. If they have trouble, I'll just say, okay, we'll take the show off, or you guys stop playing music. But in the meantime, I'm not that worried about it. But the point I'm making, yes, John.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Well, the point I was trying to make is, when I for instance, I tried to run a video of there's a video that was done by Funny or Die, which was about net neutrality. It was a bunch of porn actresses, if you may remember the piece, a bunch of porn actresses about net neutrality. And I thought it was a very important piece to run, and I would think that certainly Funny or Die would like to see that be seen, because it was trying to make a point and trying to keep the internet open. I played that, and all of a sudden I look over and Facebook has shut me down. The show is not running. They just like, boom, cut it out. Now, if I did the same thing right now on YouTube, they'd let it play, but then they would say, well, this is copyrighted by Funny or Die, and it can't be monetized. Okay, in other words, they can monetize it if they want to run a commercial before your show.
I'm glad you spoke up about that.
Well, the reason I'm bringing this up, okay, is because this is the very same Facebook that didn't give a shit about Cambridge Analytics, scamming the game by getting information on all its users, and yet they're worried about me playing a goddamn fucking promo about net neutrality. Fuck you.
So I subscribe to this magazine because that's
streaming
my
media
business, and that's why what you just said about Facebook and YouTube is why I won't buy this. This is a really good piece of gear from Epifan. It's a little broadcasting device that attaches to your camera, but it's only set up to broadcast to YouTube and Facebook. So why invest all this money in this thing? I just use Wirecast and my Mac, and Doccast is a program I like using. I never have any problems with that.
Doccast is quite expensive, though.
No, it's $25 a month for limited using.
But
they can upscale it if you want to, broadcast to a bigger audience.
John, that's 4 months of GabNet.
But you see, I can go live every night. I can go live for 36 straight hours on YouTube and not pay a penny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why should I pay Doccast?
I monetize some of the things.
Well, I can monetize on YouTube.
I think you get more listeners on YouTube. It's a bigger platform. It's Google. I just think that when people search for stuff,
actually, I get a bigger audience if I do my stuff on Facebook. But I find the quality. Like, I've been doing this show. Hello, Tony. I've been doing this show on YouTube now for 2 months. And you can all verify this. It has never gone down. It has never glitched. It has never frozen. It's never done anything. It has been perfect.
What kind of internet speed do you have there?
Well, I have a gig up and a gig down practically, but that doesn't matter. You could do it with far less than that. What I'm saying is it's a much better system than the one that Facebook is using, which is just full of problems. And now with their political problems and the fact that they haven't been watching out for their users, I'm very happy I moved over to YouTube. I may not be getting as many viewers as I got off. Like the other day, I on Facebook, I put up the snow coming down against a brick wall, and I got almost 1,000 viewers for that. Boy, I'm waiting for. I'm going to do that day when I'm going to put a board up here and I'm going to paint it. And we're going to watch the paint dry and see how many viewers I get for that. Yes, Bob.
One of the things that surprised me, I've been doing the radio now probably about 15 years, and for the first 11 years, I had to post a playlist for all of my shows when I was on internet radio. Now I'm on an actual FM station over in England, and they tell me you don't even have to post a playlist, and that surprised me.
Well, I mean, there are different rules. Posting a playlist is if I were to go out and get a license, I would have to send them a notification of every song that I play. Okay, they still don't, they still don't have a way of being able to say, okay, Gabnet, you want to play music and you're non-commercial, you have no commercials on your channel. $500 a year, you can play anything that exists in ASCAP or BMI or whatever. But they don't do that. It's like a big complicated thing, And yes, if you're non-commercial, it's cheaper than if you're commercial, but, I
have a friend that programs 5 country stations, and everything is down to the what music, what jingle, what spot. Everything's down to a science, and he does it for 5 stations.
Well, what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Well, it's the playlist. He creates the playlist, and all they do is they play it.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is trying to buy the right to play music.
I was answering Bob's that he creates the playlist. And so that's what I was talking about.
But they haven't come up with a cheap and reasonable form where, people will say, okay, I'm willing to give you, I'd be willing to put out $500 a year if I get to just play any song that I want to play. Okay. Well, then Rob could do his music show that he wants to do.
Well, there's different packages. Sony, you can get a Sony, you can get different ones, and I would imagine that they're different prices too.
What are you saying, Rob?
I said I would do a music show in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I would one too.
And by the way, you don't go to the individual publishers and.
No, but there's Sony has, for instance, is one.
No, Sony that you have to go get an overall license so that because I'm not going to just play nothing but Sony music.
Well, I think the way Barry said he did it is he got it with Sony, he got it with others.
No, you get it. You get there's a thing called Sound. Do you know what it was named, Rob? Do you remember Sound, the name of the company? And they license. They give you an overall license, and you pay a certain amount, and they administer it.
There are many rules around that.
Yeah.
Meaning that, if I were going to do that show, I could not use CDs and my mini discs and spin a music program like, old-fashioned way. You have to be able to put the names of the songs and the artists on that channel so that it spits across. Now, for a while, I was doing music. I was doing a music show. I was doing a music show on that. Oh, you scared the hell out of me. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It scared the
party.
Sitting here with headphones on.
Wait a minute. What has just happened here?
I have
some guests. Let me blow this up a little bit so you can all see it there.
These are my neighbors and my wife over here.
Yeah. The wife is in the corner. She's being very demure.
There's camera.
Huh?
Hi, Alex. We were the neighbors.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Scared the hell out of me. All of a sudden, I reached back like this, and I felt something. I locked the door before I came up here. My wife was next door with the neighbors, and they came over and surprised me.
We were watching.
There's the
camera. You're watching. Okay, well, now you see it.
I don't know the others.
Let me put this all back together here.
Wow.
I know, I was in the camera.
Yeah.
Hi, girl.
That's Aaron.
Well, you certainly moved into a fun neighborhood.
Yes, it is. It's quite a nice neighborhood for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Bye, guys. We
Okay.
were watching you.
Bye bye.
Did they bring you something to drink, Rob?
They all have wine.
And you get SWAT?
And I can't drink. Last week I got drunk at her party 8 times.
Just 5. I picked up sausage on the floor.
Oh, please.
We wanted a photo bomb.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
What does that thing making have abuse?
What?
that thing that you take to lose weight? Does it have anabuse? I think that's what they give alcoholics so that they throw up.
All I know to show you
right now, we've been off of it. I wouldn't have been able to drink. But I don't know. I drank a little bit and I got sick. And Sunday was a nightmare. It was a party Saturday. Anyhow.
Yeah. When all those women walked in like that, I was going, is there some kind of secret Rob's been hiding from us about a polygamous family?
Oh God, they just scared the heck out of me.
I just got through watching, it's on Hulu, if you get Hulu. It's a movie called Professor Marston and the Wonder Women. And it is about Professor Marston, who was married and met up with a third woman, another woman, and they started having a polygamous family. The other woman was Margaret Sanger's niece, and they had this polygamous marriage going. It wasn't really a marriage because the third woman wasn't married to them, but she lived with them and had kids by him, and they all raised the kids together. And it all was going fine until the shit hits the fan, of course. But the thing that happened in the midst of all of this is in the process of being out of work as a professor, because the charade had been discovered, he came up with a concept for a comic book. And that comic book was Wonder Woman. Now, Professor Marston, among other things, also invented the lie detector. So it's things like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth was based on his lie detector.
Hey, Stormy Daniels took
wait
a
a
lie
minute.
detector
And if you
test
ever
and
look at
passed
the
it.
old Wonder Woman comics, about 35 to 40% of the time she's tied up or in bondage. And it was a bondage comic book that he was getting away with on a national level. And it's the whole story about the family, and about the last part of it is the creation of Wonder Woman and him fighting the comic book people over, whether he can do this or not. It's just it's a great little movie if you get a chance to see it. Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. What?
If you go to counterpunch.org, and look for the Stormy Daniels article. It's the best article on Stormy Daniels ever. And she and her ex-husband took lie detector tests around her involvement with Trump, and they passed all the lie detector tests. So there's more in that article, but when you mentioned that about the lie detector, I thought,
if anybody ever
always got to work Stormy Daniels.
If anybody asks you who invented the lie detector, it's Professor Marston, who he wrote the comic books under a different name though, it's an incredible story, just an incredible story. And it's on Hulu, so you can, if you have Hulu, you can watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah.
I don't have Hulu.
I like when they do the comic book things.
I knew there was something I loved about Wonder Woman when I was growing up, and it was all that bondage, But then they got him out of there, and they took Wonder Woman and almost neutered her.
Good? If Wonder Woman was actually real and she threw the lasso of truth around Trump, imagine if we got all the truth out of it.
But the point is that they literally defanged Wonder Woman, and so how Wonder Woman wound up was she was part of the Justice League, but you know what her job was as one of the you had Superman and Batman and so on, the Justice League. You know what her job was? I bet Tony can tell us.
I don't know what this.
She was the secretary.
She was a secretary?
She was the secretary of the Justice League. That's how they defanged her at DC. And it wasn't until Gloria Steinem put Wonder Woman on the cover of her first issue of Ms. that the Wonder Woman thing came back, and DC saw value in it and went back to the old Wonder Woman.
I really like the new Wonder Woman movie, Alex.
Oh, it's a very good movie.
It reminded me of Captain America. I thought it was really good.
It's a very good movie, yeah. Because most of the other DC stuff has been shit.
Yeah, I can't stand Affleck as Batman. I want to fire him right from my TV. I can't take him as Batman.
Well, listen, I got to tell you, George Clooney was no great Batman either.
That was fucking horrible. I want to
Van, what's his name?
that That Joel Schumacher ruined that whole fucking movie. I said.
Yeah, well, you know.
He's stunk.
I remember the Batman costume in Clooney's Batman movie.
Nipples on him.
That's what I was going to say. He had nipples on the suit.
Alex, when they watched the movie, when they
I had to bring up comic books and listen what we get here.
But can I ask you a question? When they finished the movie, right? Don't they show the people who pay for the movie like, "Hey, this is what I got finished"? They had to say this movie was terrible. Like when they show them dailies.
When they, I don't know. I often wonder whether people know whether they know they're making a shitty movie when they're making a movie.
Think they do that? You think that this is terrible?
I mean, halfway through, do they know there's a point at which they go, "Gee, I wish I could give up"? You know, I mean, this is gonna.
I think that happens, but
wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. Listen to Ray. What, Ray?
Well, I think that happens, but they have so much invested.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Vietnam War. It's like you just got to, you can't quit. You should, but you can't. And then they got to finish the movie. Then they got to edit it, and they know it's going to suck, and they just hope they don't lose too much money. Or maybe it'll do well in Spain or something.
I was listening to an interview with a comedian, and he was talking about being in when he first got into the business and how he was in a bunch. He went out to the West Coast to be in sitcoms. And he got on a sitcom, and they did like 4 or 5 episodes, and then they got the kiss of death, and they brought in some consultants, and he told the story that all they wanted to do at this point was fulfill what they had to, meaning first take on everything. You know what I mean? Just keep it short, no second cut, print it, next, and move on. Try to just limit your damage when they realize.
Jeff had his hand up, and then we'll go to Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was going to ask Tony, like the Batman, which is obviously you don't like the movies, but
I like certain Batman.
Christopher Nolan's movies were good.
But do you like the stuff in paper?
Well, you know what? I just thought I thought the Clooney Batman was so over the top. It was just like it was too campy for me.
Yeah.
I just thought the director was terrible. Like it was just totally bad.
Ray?
He was throwing villains in there. Nothing made any sense.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was still on the TV show expense issue when it sucks. Yeah. No. What I was saying was, like, for instance, the last TV show in San Francisco was Trauma, and that shut down like 3 years ago. It had the worst ratings on TV in that time slot for its whole run. So they just pumped out the last few episodes as fast as they could. They took a big pause. They made 6 more episodes that were absolutely fantastic television. But by that time, it had such a bad reputation, no one was watching it. The last 6 episodes that were great. So I mean, they gave it a second shot, and it didn't work. And I'm sure they lost a ton of money.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the guy's name because he was a comedian who I knew and I really liked. He was a really good comedian. I can't remember his name. He wound up playing Larry Sanders' doctor on Curb Your Enthusiasm. But he was a very funny comic. Now I can't even remember his name. He was a very funny comic, and he went down to Hollywood, and he was also a good actor. And he managed to get himself a pilot for a TV show. But with his name, I think his name was on it or something like that. But he got it, and ABC picked it up. Oh. And we were so thrilled for him that they picked it up. And they loved it so much that in TV Guide, which in those days everybody had a TV Guide, right? Right. They took out in every issue across the country a 2-page layout advertising his show and how they're going to run 2 episodes back to back on Monday.
He made it.
Right? Mm-hmm. And we're so thrilled for him because he not only has gotten himself a series, but he's also gotten the network behind him. Okay?
He's got it.
Hold on.
Your people chose.
That was on Friday and Thursday when TV Guide came out.
What?
By Monday, the network decided they didn't like the show, so they didn't even run it.
Hold up.
I often
ask. Are you
talking
about Jack Gallagher?
Jack Gallagher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Jack Gallagher. And I often said to Jack, Did you want to go, if there was a gun there, would you have pulled it out and stuck it in your mouth?
Really? Was that the same Jack Gallagher that used to crush the watermelons?
No, that's Gallagher.
No, that's Gallagher.
No, we're talking about a comedian here, not Gallagher. But it was literally the worst story I've ever heard in the history of television. Did you remember that happening, Ray?
What's that?
Did you remember that happening when that happened?
I don't remember it happening. I don't.
I mean, they literally had the shows ready to go. The woman supposedly called Jack on Saturday or Sunday and said, well, the old head of programming was just fired and I've taken over and I've decided not to run your show. Nice. These ads are in every TV guide across the country.
What was his name? Trump.
So what did they put on in his place?
What?
That's the question. Was it some stupid
I think, they ran a rerun or something of something.
Our joke is wild. That's all.
Yeah. Now, to me, why do you just not run a show? There's got to be an alternative reasoning there, and I think it's that the woman just didn't like any. It's like Trump with Obama. You know, anything Obama did is wrong. So she just was going to kill anything he did, because what was the harm in running it? They had already advertised it.
Yeah.
There's so much politics in show business. It's ridiculous. I mean, who knows? She might not have liked him. You know, it could be anything. It could be so many things.
The bills at the network, I would fire someone like that. Really? You just let this run. It happened before you started. Okay, you don't want it to continue. Let these run.
What is that you're holding up, Jeff?
Let's see if I can bring it in. It's Batman, right?
Oh, yeah.
Arkham Manor.
Oh, it's a TV show.
That's my nephew.
Yeah.
Who designs all that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Wow.
So, I don't know if it's any good. I have no idea.
Well, I know of Arkham Asylum, but I didn't know there was an Arkham Manor.
The Arkham Asylum is where they put the bad guys.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. No, it was an insane asylum. Yeah. And they put the bad guys there. Yeah. So I watched the interview with the Playmate, okay? And I came to the determination very quickly after watching it on CNN repeat. No, not that she's crazy.
Slut.
Huh?
Slut.
I don't know that I'd call her a slut. I think the story, number one, was very credible. It had no gaps in it. You know, it flowed pretty freely.
The sex part.
But you know, everybody was kind of scratching their head, going, "Okay, what's the motivation here? Why is she doing it?" Are you there, Renee?
I think so.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, turn on your picture, and then we'll get to see it.
See, I thought I had a picture on.
There we go.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Full
there
house.
You go.
Anyway,
cool.
I felt she was very credible. I think that the question of why is she doing this? She keeps saying that she wants to buy her story back. She wants to own her story. She wants to own her life. And I didn't find that she didn't lack credulity. I'll say that for her. I mean, you think she was a nutcase, right, Phil? Why?
Yeah, I think the story fell apart. I think she probably had one night of sex with the guy.
Oh, no.
He tried to pay her.
No. I'm telling you now.
She knew who the lawyer was that picked her up. She could tell you which events they went to. She can tell you what happened at the events. She didn't make this stuff up. He's caught with another woman or hooker or porn star, and you're going to have to suck it up that you people are lousy.
You have to suck it up that we have a president who is certainly not a good role model for the rest of the country. Yes, yes, Rob.
She's an opportunist because she couldn't believe that he would cheat on her with Stormy Daniels at that golf event, and yet he's cheating on his fucking wife.
Yes, well, of course.
So just out of curiosity, I'm sorry, go ahead, Rob.
And in my mind, she's an opportunist. And right now, she's not happy because she didn't get what she wanted. And so now she's trying, again, an opportunist, she's gambling because she expects trouble here. You know, they can sue her.
And she makes up with nothing. She's tainted. She even said in the interview, I'm an older model. And she realizes that her opportunities are few and far between. And the other one's an older porn star, and her opportunities are few and far
for Trump.
Well, Stormy Daniels happens to be
Trump. I don't like her.
Happens to be quite wealthy, so she doesn't need the publicity.
It doesn't matter. You know, people who are wealthy want to be wealthier. You know?
No, people who are wealthy just don't want to be poor.
That's true. Yeah,
and Renee wins the remark of the night. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, and Ray, thank you for that walk in Palo Alto. I was almost thinking about coming back, and I saw it all again flash back in front of my eyes and said, "Fuck that!"
Get your face, Renee. Get your face a little more in the picture so we can.
Me?
Yeah, you're.
I can't see my picture, so I gotta figure out where I'm at.
Take the camera more towards you.
Oh, there we are. Okay, got it.
There we go. There. Okay. That's much better.
And is my sound better?
Yeah, your sound's better. Yeah, your sound's great.
Because I got on a microphone.
Yes, Ray.
I really find it interesting that we're talking about Stormy Daniels and a Playboy bunny and stuff. When there are so many other things that are much more important and possibly detrimental to this nation and the world, and yet they've steered our consciousness towards this bullshit, which doesn't matter really.
Well, it does in a way, because money was paid right before an election.
Okay.
And if money was paid before an election to sway that election in any way, that's an illegal campaign contribution, and that part of it matters.
I agree with the Stormy Daniels thing, but then all of a sudden with the Playboy bunny, I mean, I don't see the relevance.
Well, the Playmate, I think the Playmate said, "Listen, she probably had more of a relationship with Trump, to listen to her tell the story, than Stormy Daniels." And she probably said, Stormy Daniels is getting all this publicity, and she didn't even have the relationship that I had with Trump. I've got if you had to say which was the story that had a lot of juice to it, it's not the Stormy Daniels story. The only part about that that's interesting, she was a porn actress. Yes, Renee.
So two topics that I agree with Ray. Two things that I'd like to talk about. And I also see what Rob is talking about. One is the march tomorrow is a good topic to talk about, what the kids, what the young adults are doing, because clearly we can't get our shit together. And number two is this black ops bitch who is now going to, badass bitch, by the way, who's now going to be in charge. They're putting her up to be in charge of the CIA. Or the NSA?
CIA.
CIA.
No, CIA, yeah.
So she ran.
She's actually worked her way up from operations. She's been with the agency for a long time.
Hey, I'm not knocking anybody who can do off the books terrorists or
well, she's been with the agency for years and years and years.
I don't care.
And supposedly is very good at what she does, but that she also is very good at taking marching orders. And the black ops that she was doing was part of her marching orders. And
That's not the scariest thing that happened, though. The scariest thing that happened to me was John Bolton becoming the national security
and that's different. And what's weird about that, Vernon, is if we were making a made-for-television movie and we needed to cast John Bolton, we'd hire you.
Wilford Brimley, come on, Wilford Brimley.
I mean, that's not to say you're as ugly as he is. You're the prettier version.
You're the glasses off to be as ugly as he is.
You're the television. You're the television version of John Bolton.
John Bolton promised.
You're Michael Bolton.
John Bolton promised Trump that he wouldn't start any wars.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Bullshit.
Yeah, Trump promised not to do a lot of things during the campaign that he's going against right now.
Bolton wanted the Iraq War and did not.
Renee?
Imagine I'm a black man with a whole bunch of medals across my chest going, this is bad white stuff. And that's exactly the same shit that the Bush administration i.e. Dick Cheney tried and successfully got us into the Iraq War.
Well, my question is, how long, do we want to take a little bet here on how long Bolton lasts?
This is NPR ended one of their segments today as, and today's staff writers were, and next week's episode is going to be, and I'm like, this is coming from NPR, where they're mocking the White House.
I don't know that he's the right guy for the job. I give him 3 months.
Give him 3 months? I think all Trump wants around him are people who agree with him and tell him what he wants to hear.
Exactly. There you go.
CNN saying that he deserves that. You know, that's what he should have. Is guys that want to do what he wants to do and push his agenda. And,
but you know something about all these people are psychopaths.
That's not what
the whole fucking government in the whole White House and the cabinet are a bunch of psychopaths.
That's not what they said. What CNN said was the president has the right to be surrounded by the people that he wants around him.
Okay.
But he said that's what they said. No, well, you pushed it beyond with what you said. That's not what they said. He, like any president, but most presidents look for an alternative opinion because they want to hear multiple opinions. If I do this, tell me the different things that can happen, everybody, and then you make a decision. Trump can't deal with that. He can't even deal with a guy that gives him a briefing because he doesn't laugh at his inane jokes.
Hey,
by the way, wait a minute. Phil Meyer just wrote me something saying I need color balance.
Your camera and Marjorie's camera, hers was very cool and yours was warmer. Now the camera currently on that you're using is much cooler. So when you had the two cameras on,
they're very hard. They're very hard to balance. These are not professional cameras. These are webcams. Phil.
I understand. You know,
and if you meant the one that you guys are seeing me on, which is this one, okay,
right?
That is a camera that doesn't go on the air.
You're not going to pick my nose.
What? No, I'm not going to pick you.
Okay.
Here, but I will tickle you. I'll tickle
Everybody
you.
lean forward.
What I saw on the air was the two cameras, and one was much cooler, and the other one was much warmer.
I know,
and because you were talking about being too bright.
It's very hard to balance them.
Yeah,
very hard to balance them. Yeah. What were you going to say, Renee? And then Bob Eberth is next. What, Renee?
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead, Renee.
I was just going to say nobody's all that worried about the practices that she learned while she was an off-site agent and bringing that kind of, I don't know, knowledge.
Look how good it worked for Putin.
Well, I think if you want my opinion, I think that she will bring whatever anybody else who works for the CIA would bring to it, because they're all involved in those kind of things, depending on who's running the place. And you know, she may be against torture. She may be against all of that. But if those were her marching orders and she considered herself a good CIA operative, then she did what she was told to do. We don't know till she takes over what the tone of that place is going to be. But most of the people who are trying to look into her have said, don't judge her by that. She was only doing her job.
Can I just Tom Yamaguchi for 2 seconds?
Plus, you should seem to like her because she's a woman. You know, the first woman to run the CIA.
You're talking about the Geneva Convention crap, that we're not supposed to step over that line.
Right.
She stepped over that line, and it's not that it wasn't her job or anything like that. It's the fact that she's now going to come into the United States and maybe bring some of that skill set with her, where she's walking the line, or she
can't walk the line. To begin with, she can't walk the line in the United States of America because the CIA is not allowed to operate inside the United States.
Unless Trump decides that that's what he wants.
Well, that's a different story altogether, but it's not supposed to by definition. It's against the law.
It's against the Geneva Convention.
Forget about the Geneva Convention. That's a whole different story. This is about whether the CIA can spy, say, on American citizens. No, they can't. The FBI can, the NSA can, but CIA is external and works outside the country.
But what happens if they're working with somebody outside the country that happens to be doing things inside our country. Aren't they supposed to share information?
This should share information, and then the FBI or the NSA would take care of that part of it, you know.
Isn't that why they started the Homeland Security?
Yeah, it's an umbrella.
To
it's an
coordinate
umbrella.
all that.
It's an
Looks
umbrella.
like we got a woman in charge of that now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
That's ridiculous.
No, it's not the fact that she's a woman. It's the fact that she operated, that she was I don't know if she was a government employee when she was running the torture sites. I think those torture sites were like Halliburton's, or they were Blackwaters. So she wasn't, I don't know if she was employed at the time she was running.
Now that we
employed with the United States government.
Now that we have a woman running the CIA, will all CIA agents have to sit down when they spy?
Not even close. Try harder, please. Make an effort.
I don't know. I liked it because it got a good groan. I think that's what I liked most about it.
And that's part of comedy, a groan.
Yeah.
Well, you don't put the seat down in the office, though. She'll fire you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a little better.
I'm sure she has her own toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't want to mess with you. Yeah, smart woman.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the fact that she's got to be a badass bitch, but I'm not messing with her.
I just never understood. You know, it's more effort to lift up the toilets. You know, we're going to get into this conversation.
But don't ever say that.
You know, that I think that whoever used it last should leave it where it is, and the next one who's going to use it should place it where they want it to be. Okay? That's just polite. But I always get this thing from girlfriend: leave the seat down. You know.
I think you cheap ass bastard men should buy a goddamn Toto and just hit the button and it'll close on its own.
And you know
it
what?
only takes a button.
Renee, when men leave the seat down, except me now because I have a catheter, if you
thank you for the visual.
If you leave the seat down, when you don't turn on the light in the middle of the night and you go in there without the catheter, you're going to hit the seat. So they yell at you for peeing on the seat, and they yell at you for not putting the seat down.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, how many here have sat on the heated toilet seat?
I have.
You know, there are two things I can't. I cannot. There are two things I can't do. This happened once to me. I went over, stayed with this woman overnight, and in the morning I had to get up to pee, and I went into her bathroom, and what was that? And she, it got to be your neighborhood, Tony. Anyway, she had one of these. I don't know how you spongy toilet seats. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate those.
And I'm sorry, I absolutely could not take a dump. I just, you know, it was too disconcerting to me. My ass was kind of collapsing into it, you know. And then, wait a minute, let me finish. Then when I wanted to go in to just pee, I couldn't get the seat to stay up because of the foam cover. So I'm there taking a pee with my foot on the thing, I look like something out of Cirque du Soleil, you know, trying to take a pee.
If you ever sat on one of those and the vinyl was cracked, that's even.
And then it pinches your ass.
Germs, bugs.
And it makes that air sound.
I have news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let toilet seats be toilet seats. In the wild, they do not have cushions. Okay?
Hey, you know French guys sit when they pee. Just thought you should know that.
Yeah, well, it's a very comfortable way to pee, and of course, Phil knows that if you have a problem like Phil had, you get more pee out by sitting down, and it's easier to pee sitting down than standing up.
Having your legs up at a certain higher than the toilet makes it easier to poop.
Yeah,
that's why I squat on the toilet like a Vietnamese guy.
The Greeks and others use those, and the Turks, they use those holes in the. And
that's fucking it.
Yeah.
Holes?
All right. Enough of that. Jack Bishop is joining us, so we have a royal flush, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. not hooked up.
Toilet.
The sound of the toilet flushing, quick, royal flush.
Yeah.
I don't have it hooked up.
Somehow your camera never starts up and we never see you, Jack.
Well, hey, you know what can I say?
You got to get your whole equipment
It's a cheap camera. I'll have to get another
quickly,
camera.
for a moment.
Hey, the toilet solution is simple. If I ever move out of this house,
yeah,
we have been in for over 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a urinal installed in my bathroom so I can. So all of this conversation about seat up, seat down becomes moot.
When you were building your house, Rob, did you have an option of a urinal?
I didn't ask.
What about a bidet?
I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I didn't want the big tub in the master bathroom, so we got a much bigger shower.
Yeah.
That was an option and all that. I didn't.
There we go.
Didn't ask about an option for a urinal.
Urinal.
Yeah, if I built another house, I'd want a bidet.
I'd want a urinal.
Not me.
Okay, Jeff has his hand up.
Yeah, my friends in Argentina, obviously they all have bidets there.
Yeah.
But they really built all their equipment in the United States because they were in the United States at the time. And so they had a lot of regular bathrooms, but they had an attachment that you could attach a regular bathroom with a bidet that kind of scrotes, the water goes underneath.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want that, Phil, go to Argentina and my friend will give you one.
There's a company that Renee was talking about called Toto that makes those. And it's the seat, and it's actually hooks up to the supply line, and you can push a button, and it'll clean your bath.
Yes, Vernon.
Most of us who have dogs keep the seat down anyway, so the dog doesn't drink out of it.
Really? Why did you want your dog drinking out of the toilet?
Well, it's probably bacteria.
It's gross.
No, it's not. It's not. Toilet water is not unhealthy. I often thought of the toilet as a watering hole for my pets.
Well, I had a German Shepherd that used to drink from the
You let
toilet.
him lick your face after that?
Huh?
You let him lick your face after that?
I mean, that's the true test.
The water in a toilet, yes, you're right, but the toilet itself, the porcelain on the inside, is loaded with germs.
Well, not if you clean it.
Well, but you'd have to really clean it.
But not as many as the water that comes from an airplane's sink.
By the way,
why are we talking?
Because we have our all-time high listening viewing audience for tonight right now. It just zoomed up the minute we started talking about toilets.
Bathroom.
Don't let Amy find out about that because she says every time we start talking about toilets, the audience sinks.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The whole conversation
no,
is shit.
I'm telling you right now, the numbers just, you know.
Well, let's keep doing it.
By the way, Jack is on after us with The Intersection, and you get more listeners than this show does. You know that, don't you?
No, I didn't know that.
No, that's because we're on video now. Most people watch the television version, video version, and don't listen to the audio stream. So our audio stream levels are very low. Yours are
You
much
should be
higher.
proud of that. You've discovered another thing on the internet that's important for how to get the signal out. And if the old way, using the radio way, doesn't work as well, you should be happy that you found.
I mean, I'll still keep the audio thing going because a lot of people listen to it the rest of the day. But
If
anyway,
you don't
yes.
call on him, he's going to burst.
Wait a minute, John Palouis. Yes, John.
Yeah, I just one more comment about the toilet thing. The most
Keep it going. People are listening.
The most beautiful toilet, most beautiful bathroom in the entire world that I ever sat on was 14,000-foot camp at Mount McKinley. And it was just a shitter hole that they had near the medical tent there. And you sat down there and just looked out at all the mountain ranges of Denali National Park.
Well, I think
Unbeatable.
maybe Renee, you got a great idea here. Why don't you put a toilet out on your deck? Because just a beautiful view.
You can whale watch while you're taking a dump.
How many additional viewers you'll get? especially from the road.
I would like to put in my 2 cents about Toto. So all of you people that have Mother's Day is coming up, Costco sells it. Please go out and go to Costco.
Now explain Toto quickly. Toto
hey,
is
Mom,
not.
Here's an ass
besides being
Happy Mother's Day.
Besides being the dog from the. Besides being the dog from the Wizard of Oz, what else is Toto? Explain it. It's a toilet what?
Toilet company.
Well, see, they were the original ones that invented the washette. And the washette happens to be a duvet.
Duvet. A duvet? No, I mean a bidet, not a duvet.
Built into the toilet. So they invented it. However, Mark Cuban, the basketball entrepreneur or whatever he is, saw a need for this, and he went in to business with somebody else that has already invented just the seat. So you don't need to buy a Toto anymore, and you don't need to buy a Toto washette by name. You just need to go to Costco, and they'll have the heated seat ones, and they'll have the water and heated seat ones. And you can get it from them, and you can even get it online. There's 2 problems. If you don't know an electrician, then you're going to have to buy the battery-operated one. But if you do know the electrician, the other one is much better.
Is there any way to try it out before you buy it?
Yeah, it's going to cost you a ticket to Hawaii. Or you can go to my...
Imagine if it's on fire.
Buy it, Costco, return.
What?
I hope you're happy, Ray Renati, with the level of this conversation. You know, you were kind of hoping it would be staring up there.
But as soon as I heard there's more listeners.
Well, listen, you'll be happy to know, Ray, that at least we got off of talking about Stormy Daniels and on to something else that's important.
Yeah,
exactly.
Still in the toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, what's better? But poop is more important than Stormy Daniels. If I don't take a poop, if I don't take a poop, I've got problems. But if I don't take a Stormy Daniels, I'll get by okay.
Taking a shit and taking care of my prostate are much more important to me than her.
Right. And speaking of prostate health, by the way, Phil, the guy on the screen next to you, Vernon, wrote me today about the fact that he had his prostate radiated years ago. What?
Is that why he's glowing?
Not looking at his junk.
No, and it's never come back, right? That's all.
That's right.
That's all. And that was how many years ago?
7 years ago.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but how large was your prostate?
Well, when the cancer was detected, my PSA shot up to 9.2.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was from 3 years earlier. It was at 5.1.
Yeah,
and the doctor said if it increases, if it doubles like that, whether it's relative number, if it goes from 4 to 8 in a 3-year period, then they want you to have it checked out.
I was talking about the actual size of the prostate, the milliliters.
Well, see, mine's still in there. It's just been shrunk by radiation.
Oh, I see.
My PSA now has leveled off at a 0.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
But the thing they also told you was that if you were 10 years younger, they would have removed it. If you were 10 years older, they would have told you to live with it.
Yeah, I was 62 years old when it was diagnosed, and the doctor, of course, every case is different, and I don't know about your situation, but they did 12 biopsies, and only 1 came back cancerous out of 12.
I had 2, and over a period of a few years, the first one was negative, and the second one came back with.
Well, that's what it was with me. They did a biopsy 3 years earlier, and they all came back negative. But then when it jumped from 5.1 to 9.2, we did the biopsy thing again, and boy, that's uncomfortable. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, believe me, I know.
The catheter thing is.
Hey,
really
Alex, all I got to do is go to my storage room and get the box that it came in.
There it is. Just make sure to send me the. Okay, good. Good.
For
What is it?
Christ's sakes, Alex.
It's his Mac Mini. He wants
Mac Mini. I'm buying that from him.
They were smaller.
He takes credit cards.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I said, how am I going to get the money to you? He said, oh, just give me your credit card. I'll be able to get it to you. You know. So.
Oh yeah, Alex. You know what? I need to go shopping. Just give me your credit card.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll be happy to do that. Hey, listen. It's been fun tonight. Really been fun.
Yeah.
And now you've got me worried about my prostate and the fact that I have to get my PSA test again, and maybe it'll go up, and then they'll have
the
to
uniform on again, Alex.
They'll have to do the whole puncturing of your prostate. And, some people have said that doesn't hurt. Other people say it hurts like hell.
Phil, no, please.
Stop.
No. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. My pants. Come on.
Hey, nice color.
Hey, what you didn't see is that I sent my pants over to Phil so he would wear them just now. Then when he sat down, he took them off. He gave them to Vernon. He stood up. He had
the magic of the internet.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I want to thank all of you. Vernon Nunn, thank you so much. Phil, glad to have you back. You didn't miss a day. Bob Eberth, thank you. John Perulis, always good to have you on. Tony, remind me not to talk about comic books when you're on. Rob, thank you as always. Ray Renati, terrific singing tonight. And Jeff Stein, a terrific beard. Okay, and Renee, as always, you were terrific too. Well, everybody give a big, not round of applause, but a big, wave goodbye to all the people out there in our television or video or our whatever viewing audience. Bye, everybody. And they'll be back again hopefully next week. And in the meantime, we will be taking the weekend off, as we all often do. In fact, every weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday, and we start at 9:30 with Damien, who didn't do a show tonight because he had some problems. But he'll be back again at 9:30 on Tuesday. I'll be followed by me, and that's the way it goes. I'll be back again on Tuesday. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, I'm just stalling here because I'm trying to get things working here. Tell her I love her, okay? Bye, everybody.